Firstly, we should generate the enlightenment thought, which is to aspire for the complete enlightenment on behalf of all sentient beings. For this purpose, I should listen the teaching. The basis of the teaching Rinpoche is giving on departing from the four attachment is the commentary of it from Khenchen Appey. We should look at it while Rinpoche gives the explanation.
Shamba kebi kapsu, maagi tengi kebi kapla. Tene amante tsendele tene kari maze. Sheva ngemane, ma lendong tse meba she, penta. Pa lendong mombo she. Tene penjala soba mombo she ne. Shamse chenpo sheba. Tene kari chenpo yinsam.
While explaining how one's own mother, this life's mother, how to reflect on the kindness of one's this life's mother. We are on this part. Not only the kindness of this life, we should also reflect her kindness as well. From the viewpoint of taking many birds of many states of father, relatives, and other friends, and as well, and reflect on their sort of various kindness she had provided during the many past lifetimes.
So somba tenen jande, mata tenen tenen chambo yinsa, tenen tenen te goso.
The third one is to instill a will or wish to repay her kindness because of such kindful.
Mata tenen magan esole osetone. Mata devan degi hori, yena yo deva guna devi ju geva do gugere de tigen angwa higmeri. Deva topitando su je kuma je la suba megavasini. Dungagi devu drup degi. Jesa Martin Jamomedu. Tadu ma morong tanda she tuwa medu. Jesa ngero washiku do some.
In order to instill and develop the gratitude towards gratitude, we need to look at the present the condition of one's own mother, and seeing that she is still in the suffering state, and she has not been able to do her personal sort of purposes. She has not been accomplished her personal sort of gain, that is to accomplish happiness. Seeing that she is ignorant, and she is still in the grip of various kinds of suffering. Then this will to repay the gratitude will arise, and as well as will enhance further.
Mande deva don demba. Devi ju geva domke tendezi shuna. Tene shuna sambate tere demba don deva setu. Deva chepa shamba gantong chiri.
So through reflecting in the earlier way, then the wish or the willing, wish or the will, wish or the will or the mental state, which a mental state which aspire that may my mother be may my mother be separated or be parted from the suffering and their sufferings and their causes, and may my mother be be involved in the causes of happiness, and may my mother be in a state of happiness arises in us. That is that kind of mental state is known as the loving kindness associated with the wish or with the aspiration. And then wishing that may she be in a happy state, and she be involved in the spirituality. That is loving kindness associated with the prayers.
Yung mande dewa no devi judon demba ji lama do kenchu no no sam sondep tondewa.
And furthermore, loving kindness can be also associated with the supplication prayer. For instance, when we generate the loving kindness towards Mother, we supplicate towards the Triple Gem and the Gurus we supplicate that the Gurus and Triple Gem grant sort of blessings to the mothers, that she be in a happy state, and as well as she be involved in the causes of happiness.
Teba Chambu Temo Mai Gomdon de Mande Devado Devi Judon Temachi, Nesisam, Tamcha, Samsit.
In accordance with the practice of higher trainers, it is the most principal, most advanced way of generating loving kindness towards Mother is to resolve within oneself, resolving within oneself that I must be the one who should place this Mother on the stage of happiness, and who should stage of happiness, and on the stage of happiness and their causes.
Tene sam junsen sam junsen meva sam ne sam dene jumale mate devado devi julo dembachi sam bi samno de zochu sheme go gam sheme go bar rong hu ke tabar gonga shuna tene samba yoshuna.
Through these ways, familiarizing oneself in the loving kindness towards Mother, through these ways, sometimes by scrutinizing the state of the Mother, sometimes scrutinizing within oneself whether the mode of perception, mode of sort of grasping, or mode of perception of the loving kindness, whether one's own mode of perception, mode of perceiving of the loving kindness fits with the instruction, sometimes without scrutinizing and just generating as instructed, and one day through that way when the loving kindness, that is the mental state which aspire happiness to the mother, and which aspire that mother should be involved in the causes of happiness, arise within you without any sort of effort, arise within you effortlessly. That is the sort of the limit or the maturation. That is known as the maturation of the loving kindness.
Tenin bade wrong part tabu. Nyewi shu teso. Gomdong jibare deso tada penta. Shewa ngema penche mamo mochebi penta yinson.
And as for the other step, to enhance the loving kindness furthermore, to develop furthermore, after the maturation of the loving kindness toward the mother, then one should shift the practice of loving kindness, focusing on the other relatives such as father, reflecting on this life's various kindness and the kindness they had sort of conveyed, kindness they had conveyed in the past, in the countless times, in the past countless sort of lives. And as for the third step, then we should further sort of shift our loving kindness, focusing, taking other closer sort of beings, closer human beings as an object of our familiarization in loving kindness. And then furthermore, we should shift our practice of loving kindness towards the enemy, thinking of their kindness, their sort of kindness, which they conveyed, which they sort of provided to oneself while being as a mother and father and other relatives in the many sort of countless past lives.
And
then for the and then further on, we should familiarize in the loving kindness. Furthermore, as a third step, we should familiarize the loving kindness in ourselves. Furthermore, taking all the neutral being as an object of it, through the same sort of procedure, thinking first to think that they are the mothers. They are mothers in the many past lives, and then reflecting on their various sort of various kindness, and then generating or instilling the genuine sort of loving kindness towards them. And while doing the sitting practice of loving kindness, during which we are supposed to be familiarizing ourselves in the loving kindness, which advises us to do it, which advises us to do it, focusing sometimes towards all sentient beings, all 6 kinds of beings of the worldly existence. And sometimes we should sort of make a division. The object of loving kindness, the sentient beings should be divided into the mega divisions of the different sentient beings, and then focusing individually towards them. We should try to familiarize in the loving kindness. As for the last sort of procedure to divide, to make a division of the sentient beings, we can also do it by focusing only the inhabitants of the Nepal, the sort of cut Nepal, and then in another sort of session, another time, we can take the other sort of nationalities, and so on.
Gamche tadu jema chulu dodu miji tongchuna mende devado dembara chuchi sam. Chiji tongchuna chinde devado dembara chuchi sam. Tam mombi gono gam goyo.
And not only during the sitting practice, but also in the off session while walking, and seeing any kinds of people or any kinds of animals such as dogs. Inwardly, we should generate the wish that may it be in a happy state inwardly.
Deva menken tongshuna deva don dembara chuchi sam. Geva muduk internet tongshdu devi judung dembara chuchi sam teni chan gam.
And furthermore, during the off session, while seeing people in a destitute state, while seeing people in an unhappy state, physical or mentally unhappy state, inwardly we should generate the loving kindness to them, wishing that is to wish that may they be in a happy state. And while seeing someone who's some kind of very sinful people, any kind of very sinful people, inwardly we should generate inwardly the wish that they may be involved, or may they be able to engage, may they have the ability to engage in the spiritual, the wholesome deed.
Deva mombo, devi ju mombo yavri, teso samchenan medu, teso samchenan ke tobor khutsam, teso tune samna shamba mombo don, shamba khu chambo cheri yoris.
Furthermore, another sort of skillful methods to enhance our own sort of loving kindness. As we are aware that there are so many kinds of happinesses in our human world, and so many sort of kinds of the causes of happiness. That is the spiritual or the wholesome deeds. So through reflecting, or through sort of out of such understanding and generating in many sort of specific ways of familiarizing oneself in both the sessions, then from these sort of methods, different methods, we will be able to enhance or stabilize, or our loving kindness will become a very effective or very powerful.
And true me here don lojong severku Jimba Metong, Jimbaton Barku, Sutum Megano, Sutum Sumbarku Laswa.
For example, the people those who do not involve themselves in the holy doctrine. We should generate that may they be able to engage in the teaching, and also should generate inwardly while seeing the those who do not maintain their morality, do not maintain their vows. We should inwardly generate the loving kindness, wishing that may they be able to maintain their morality, and so on. And also, while seeing the stingy people, we should generate the loving kindness, wishing that may they be able to may they be able to be generous.
너 지금 세부 담비 삼바 섬주 손인 손바지 요래대 샴비 쇼이 말 배나 되네 되네 히라베 행게레도 삼천대 히라메행게레도 삼키라 메나 디그마도 차도 삼천대 히라동 점발 효소마 네 짐바동도 삼천대 그때는 선나치고도 된 디그마도 삼천대 짐바동 발 효고라서 같은데 숨촌이 세부 담비 섬노 숨촌이 있어.
In one sutra, in a sutra, in one sutra, there is it has what you call, it has classified, or it has classified the manner of generating loving kindness into 32 kinds, such as if one is intelligent and other is stupid or has no ability to know the teaching, then one should generate inwardly that I am intelligent, but the other is stupid. May he gain the intelligence, or may he gain the wisdom to know, and so on. So these are such manners of generating the 32 kinds of loving kindness are known as the manner of noble people. Now the second point, the compassion, which is going to give some explanation. First, the nature of a definition of the compassion. Compassion refers to a mental state which wish or which will that may other beings be parted from the suffering, or a wish which think that may others be engaged, may others be possessed, may others be possessed may others be separated from the causes of sufferings. So the causes of sufferings refers to our innate, our egoism, our grasping of self, and all other our afflictions, the defilements.
That depends on Pento Self. Just maybe some years, Ninja, Khenchen Yinza. Dog no somebody, Sonja Top Gona, Chu Mombol, Yamniche Gumare, Ninja, Jomba Gamda, Regression. Ninja Yera, Sonja Chu Konga Ungre.
Although there are so many benefits, limitless benefits, so many benefits of generating compassion, being compassionate or generating compassion, taught in the sutras, Mahayana sutras. One of them is that in a sutra it says, if a higher trainer engages in the compassion, there's no he doesn't need any other sort of paths to attain the complete enlightenment.
Ninja de Tombo, Lama Yubikane, Samsi Siju. Lama Yutadu, Ninja, Lama Combeton. So, dear Taduyo, Ninja de then I chungo koala, so be something at times, and over you.
So, the benefit of compassion is that before entering into the higher trainer's path, or before entering into the path, it causes the person, it causes the ownership to enter into the path, and in the middle, while traversing the path, compassion causes the practitioner to enhance or to develop his practices furthermore, and at the end, after attaining the complete Buddhahood, compassion is the driving force of the Buddha to manifest or to bestow the various sort of beneficial activities for the sake of sentient beings.
Papa Ludu Bena Zimbabwe on set of Grill Lasova. Then gave at us okay. Like on the same Mosuna, Jule, Ninja in a tank and say, Ninja Conga secret somebody, Lama Conga. Teba Chambu Yamne Conga and Rochen, like a Conga Ninja Chiku.
So Nagarjuna in one of his texts, after sort of explaining the specific benefits of specific practices such as generosity and morality and so on, at the end he would say in a sort of concise explanation, he says that compassion has all the benefits, or compassion has all the benefits of all the other all the other spiritualities, the higher trainers' spiritualities, because compassion is the predecessor. I think so.
Predecessor. Tata Caps Baba. Ninja get in some situation, then it's on the Copenhagen.
For instance, compassion is the state which goes before all kinds of higher trainer spiritualities. Now, coming to the point here, the compassion, through the cause of compassion, it causes the practitioners to instill the altruistic enlightenment thought, which causes the followers to attain the complete enlightenment.
Tene Khenchen Hinje Gamdong, Labore, Kazon the Chiva, Shomba Gamdong. There's a sumche, Tomunye Shu, Tene Rimi Shu, Tene Panama Shu, Sum, Tombo, Zavi Martin, Ten to the Chasonche. Tene Gamiate, Tene Nije Gamgi.
The manner of familiarizing in compassion is the same as the loving kindness. The objects of loving kindness should be divided into three parts. First, the closer beings, and the distant beings, and the neutral beings. And the way of familiarizing, the way or the manner of familiarizing during the sitting sort of practice, it is the same. First, while sort of producing or enhancing the compassion towards the mother, first we should think that this is mother, and then you reflect on the kindness, various kindness of her, and then generate the genuine sort of compassion. The genuine compassion arises within the practitioner through such procedure, through such a way.
Mande dungan do tana, mande dungan jam chebichu, dipa momo sauta, dipa masana sam, dembaton devas, dipa masana rega sam, dembaton deva. Dunga jodo travel chuchi sambata, manam don devas. Tene mande dunga jodo travasi, kanju chen samba, sonda don deva. Tene ke chekyu mande dunga jodo travasi, ngeshi samba, lasam gambare.
And while generating in the sitting practices, there are four sort of there are there. The compassion is in another door of the division of compassion from the association of the compassion. It is divided from the point of associations. So while doing the sitting, familiarizing in compassion in the sitting practices, we should train ourselves in all four of them. Association with the willingness, association with the prayers, association with the supplicating prayers, and associated with the courage, I think. Associated the courage, and the most sort of important, most crucial is to train ourselves mainly in the compassion, compassion which associates with the courage or resolvement. That is to resolve within ourselves that I would be the one who must place this mother on the stage of happy and the stage of the causes of happiness.
Tsam hinje te misar sene ni ji yuru lungar chambo imbala sapa. Tenda mo sone no de jeno hachun de so chambo imbado. Chu drum de ye chung parche gon tu simbala sopi mi yur chu sumre.
Sometimes while familiarizing ourselves in the compassion during the sitting practice, we should train we should focus our compassion towards the specific objects, such as a person who is in the grip of very strong desirous attachment and other afflictions, and such as a follower. Although the followers who who faces big kind of hindrances, although he possessed a strong sort of willingness to engage in the practices and so on. There are 10 kinds of specific objects to whom we should generate a special sort of compassion.
And
furthermore, we should generate a special sort of compassion towards 6 kind of specific objects, specific people or the followers. 6 kinds of specific people. The people who are very stingy, people who has no morality, people who are people who are nature of very short-tempered and so on. And 6. Asanga pointed out the special sort of objects of compassion, devised the special object of compassion into 110. And in a sutra, it explains, it divides or it classifies 16 kinds of sort of compassion, such as the compassion of what you call compassion of the teacher who imparts the teaching, the doctrine to the disciples. So that teacher should possess compassion. That is the compassion, special compassion. That is the compassion to compassion. Compassion refers to the mental state of the teacher, which wish to cause the disciples to overcome, in order to dispel or in order to relinquish the egoism of the disciples, wishing to relinquish the egoism of disciples, and from that mental state or compassion, this is the one example. And in Sage's intent, the special objects of compassion is classified into 2. One is the Hinayana. Hinayana followers, I think so. And one is the mundane, related with the beings who are so much powerful, who have powerful sort of post, who are powerful post. They themselves not only engaging themselves in the various numerous unwholesome deeds, but the powerful the people who causes many other sort of many other people who causes many other people who causes many other peoples to commit numerous sort of sinful deeds. Such people, such sort of mundane people will sort of fall into the lower realms right after, in the hell realm, right after, without the intermediate state, they fall into the hell realm, right after dying, right after the death. So such people possessing very powerful post are the special object.
Mesa dunga chambo yanke yang song sum tori gina mi na bena ne travel shwanda bu maison le mi hi ju sa chebana bu chimgar ge chimgi neba chambo ke ge yabanda bu sorry.
And from the viewpoint of what's the sufferings, they are what's the many sort of special objects to whom we would say should familiarize ourselves in generating the compassion, such as people, the suffering, such as these beings in the lower realms, who have much more intensive and intensive suffering, and within the higher realms, like in the human being, the humans who have very very strong and very incurable diseases.
Tene nyinje te yon sanche no dungar mombo megawa mombo shegen du samna te memba chungna samdana tene nyinje khucheron roge.
So in these ways or in other ways when we would say think on the other sentient beings of their sufferings, their different kinds of sufferings, their state of being in the sinful, and then reflecting on them again and again, occasionally, then the compassion, the mental state, the compassion is a kind of mental state which wish others to be parted from suffering and causes of suffering. Such mental state will become matured.
Yemba nadasam sanche tamche nyemon bi yemon dunga ge yemon ri nijesam.
In brief, we can also sort of reflect or familiarize in our compassion through thinking that all beings are in the grip of power, in the grip of suffering, in the grip of the suffering, in the grip of the afflictions. They have no sort of power by themselves. They are under the power of others.
And
also sometimes generate towards the beings who suffer intensively, who have to undergo the intensive suffering, despite they don't wish the suffering. And the beings who have to undergo, or who have to undergo the suffering of the hot hell realms for many countless sort of times. And also focusing on the sentient beings and wishing one should generate compassion towards the beings, the hungry ghosts, beings who have to undergo the suffering of hunger and thirst for many sort of countless times. And also familiarize in compassion, taking the specific sort of object, the sentient beings, those who will have to undergo the suffering of animals, undergo the suffering of suffering of human births, such as suffering of birth, the suffering of sickness, aging, and death for countless times.
And
also should in a different aspect of generating compassion, focusing on the different features of the object of the different features of the sentient beings, we can also generate stronger sort of. We should enhance our compassion. For instance, the beings who have to
make okay. You need to
and thinking that since the affliction, defilements of the beings are so difficult to be relinquished, and that beings will have to undergo the intensive sufferings endlessly, thinking from that way. These are all the different sort of features from the object, the sentient beings. So the different features from the different features of the object sentient beings, we can enhance or develop the sentient beings. That sort of compassion. And a sutra, the Avalokiteshvara says that the human beings spend time in accumulating the cause of sufferings, spend time in accumulating or cultivating the causes of sufferings, and the beings in the lower rim, spend time in experiencing the result of the negative actions. From these 2 points, he himself, Avalokiteshvara, he himself, from these sort of 2 aspects or 2 features of the beings, he himself, generate compassion towards the beings. So, also from the other sort of other point of view, other aspect, thinking that wherever we go, wherever the beings go, wherever the beings abide, wherever being abides, wherever beings go, there is always the suffering. From that aspect as well, we can enhance our compassion.
People maybe are not happy.
No, wherever they go, wherever they abide, there's no happiness. From that aspect, we can enhance it, the compassion.
Dunga Yem Yimbi Yamtari, Konga Yamtari, Yamta Yimbi Sanjay Tonje Nire Jason.
Nyamda, don't know in English. And among the sort of human beings, those who sort of those who take pride in themselves, those who take pride in themselves, how much pride they take in themselves, they are in the grief, they are in the grip of the suffering, they are grip of suffering, or they have no control of themselves, they are in the control of sort of suffering. So from that aspect, we also can generate or enhance our compassion towards such being.
Samba Shonju Sam Gambalas, Sumia, some of the Shonju Sam Gambala, Member Shonju Sam, Dayan Yambi Shonju Sam, Dayan Jevi Shonju Sam, Sumia, somebody.
In order to familiarize in the enlightenment thought, altruistic enlightenment thought, there are three ways. There are three ways, or three kinds. Familiarizing in the aspiring enlightenment thought, and familiarizing in the engaging in familiarizing in aspiring enlightenment thought, familiarizing ourselves in enlightenment thoughts, enlightenment thought of equalizing others and ourselves, and familiarizing ourselves in the enlightenment thought of exchanging.
Sanchen Tamche Deva Yeva Ngesi, Dungan Meva Ngesi Samyor, Tati Tablet Samno Tongu, Sanche Tamche Deva Yeva Don, Dungan Meva Kandeshi Gugundu Samdu, Sushi Gugundu Samno Kogiore. Dan Yetembi Pambondo, Lai Jarvo, Tomba Singendo, Tezushi to Yamare. Nomba Gatane Hiratambo Yimbi, Nientu, Da Chamba Sanke, Teso, Yawayorete. Teso Yanda Shetu Mare, Shendeo Yamarela, Nuba Yamare. Da Yanda Sushi to Grisana, Zobi Sonja Shetu, Zobi Sonja Yana, Betsa, Meba Shetu Giri. Jaza Sanjay Yang Tandale, Sanjay non Deva Yava, Dungan Meba Shea, Sanjay Kongar, Sanjay Konga Deva Yavadon, Dungan Meba Shea, Tapide, Sonja Togundu, Samne. Miute Sanjay Tandale, Did Lasha de Sonja Togundu, Samguga, Shaza, Sanjay Tom Chegitandu, Ne Zobi Sonja Gofon Togu, Topa Segun, do somebody. Shonju Sam City, member Shonju Sam.
So with regard to the aspiring enlightenment thought, it is the mental state. It is the mental state which has the mode of aspiring to gain, the complete enlightenment. After seeing that those beings is the high post in a mundane sort of existence, such as the gods and the great gods, as well as those who are regarded as in the higher stages within our Buddhism, within the Buddhism, such as Sharvaka, Arhat, and so on. Seeing that these stages do not have the ability to benefit the sentient beings, to benefit successfully benefit the sentient beings, and saying that the stage of Buddha is the only stage through which one can successfully benefit all sentient beings. And then, not only that, through reflecting on the different sort of happinesses and their causes, sufferings and their causes, then one will have a thought, thinking that how should the sentient beings be placed on the happy and the happy causes of happy. How the sentient beings should be parted from the sufferings and their causes. And then one will have a thought that there is no other stage through which one can be successful to accomplish the wishes generated from loving kindness and compassion. Then one will have a genuine sort of thought of aspiring enlightenment thought, which wish to gain the complete enlightenment.
Samche de mena geva kanda sauna songje thoba yamale. Songje de samche de na thogo yinsa. Samche de le phaya mombo song yore. Kana samche yobo shuna de le shongju samba chano yore. Shongju samba segre. Tanda le yon sa don jebin jiten tamje ke shon sa le yozu churba. De la so bi phaya samje mejaba song.
Without the enlightenment thought, there is no method to attain the complete enlightenment. There is no way. In the teachings, it gives in the teaching there are so many sort of benefits taught regarding it. So many benefits regarding it, for such as after having instilled or produced the genuine enlightenment thought, one will be known, one will be labeled, or one will be respected as a benevolent person. In another word, benevolent person or altruistic, compassionate, benevolent person. That means that one will become a object of honor. One will become honorable. One will become honorable by not only by the beings, human beings, but also by the gods.
Shani je to le la bo che amale. Lo dawa mombo na gam go ga. Tel ma za tene te shevi tandale kan ju lo so wa ta. So devotion tapi mombo chi go ga.
Which points out that compassion, let alone the enlightenment thought, genuine enlightenment thought, compassion and the compassion and the loving kindness, these are not that much easy to generate, easy to instill within our mental stream. We need to be very skillful. We need to put much exert in familiarizing. We need to put more sort of effort in sort of familiarizing in them through making offerings and through accumulating many kinds of various kinds of merits, and through purifying our obscurations, the defilement obscurations as well.
Bena chu hedu mugo Kona de Masam, Dembari Masam. Then I Segu Masam. You have to get a Masaba Resum, but Chewangama gave you 7 years. They are me, Mother. Chesa tell us so, and they are the Dribazon, so Chana, they chew your Kogum.
For example, a follower who would say follow the doctrine, the holy doctrine, even though they follow the doctrine, still they receive teaching, they have an opportunity to study in the philosophical institution, still they could not could not believe in the meaning, could not produce a firm belief in the contents of the teaching, could not produce a genuine willingness, genuine interest to engage in the practices, follow the practices. These are all because of not awakening. These are all not because of awakening the propensity, the propensity of the virtue left behind within the mental stream from the past. In order to awake that positive propensity within our mental stream, and to be more and to be more more matured, and to be more matured from the heart. It is advised that in the teaching that such followers should follow in offerings and accumulating merits and so on.
There's the Chima Dome, Salmoboso, Sema Maimba Chena, Pendo Yori, Pena, Sanjetam Jedeva, David Judo, Demonstration, Mombo Dome, Mundra, Kayasa, Dunga Judo, Tower, Chuchi Sange, Samchi, Sanjetam Jedano, Sonja Tower, Chasange, Salmombo Sona, Sama Pantoko.
These practices such as compassion, loving kindness, enlightenment thought can be enhanced even from not only during the sitting practice, but also during any any time during the off session, reciting and counting like a mantra. Reciting the mantra by the malas, one can make a repetition, and reciting the words, reciting the sentences, like may all sentient beings in happy states and their causes. Such sort of line, may all beings be parted from the sufferings and causes of suffering. May I attain complete enlightenment for the sake of other beings. So these what you call the wordings or the lines should be recited like we repeat the mantras. These lines also should be repeated again and again. Such method will also be beneficial to enhance them.
Nona ngenjung ngesol ngenjung she. Some need to something so made tamiri. There's time to the opportunity. Shina on Javasimungur.
In brief, the followers, these followers, it is essential to at least instill a renunciation, what is commonly known as renunciation. At least need to instill genuine renunciation, compassion, loving kindness, genuine compassion. Then, at the time of dying, the there will be no sort of regret.
Samte Joma Mare, Sonju Samtele, Tacham Ninjel, Damba Kuchim, Sonju Samtele, Damba Yegukere, Damba Kuguri. Then Damba Hugu Junse Karatana, Geva del Damba no Parmasanki, Parmasana Damba Menken. Sonja Tovala, Shiton Parmi Geva Sena, Chozu no Mare, Debu Yobo, Wongi there. Sonja Tovala Sebala, Damba Metameri, Damba maybe Geva Tega, Sonja Tobuya Mari. Just a Damba Hu, Dambi told it, Geva Tesu, the Langu Dodon Tenderi, just a Damba Hu.
So, in order to familiarize or do the practice of enlightenment thought, it has to be it has to be done after taking the vow, the bodhicitta vow, after taking the bodhicitta vow. This is because there are two kinds of virtues. There are two kinds of virtues: neutral virtues and the virtues associated with vows. Associated with vows. The virtues, the neutral virtues, which is not associated with some kind of promise, vow or some kind of promise, it doesn't the neutral vow do not bring the accomplishment. Do not bring the accomplishment of the complete enlightenment. So, in order to attain the complete enlightenment, the aspirer, the practitioner who aspires for it, must possess the bodhicitta vow.
Dhamma no choga del niyo santam do umalusa. Yina yo santam do to konje kala khawa yo tombo thau khawo. Ji genin da galon da dhamma yen ken gu ge yo re. Ba do sun khawo yo re. De sun ja tunga chenbo ge chung chung yi tu ru yo re. De su dhamma ona gonga ge sun gu yo re. Rimba yo ma re.
And with regard to the rituals of bestowing the bodhicitta vow, there are two kinds. Rituals in accordance with the Chittamatra schools, rituals in accordance with the approach of the Madhyamika school. Among these two, the vow, bodhicitta vow, received from the rituals according to the Chittamatran is more difficult to follow. It's much difficult to follow, because in order to receive the vow by ritual, the ritual has to be, or the bodhicitta vow has to be bestowed from the ritual by any of the qualified master who possess either the upasaka vow or the naviks, the monks' vows. And as for the precepts of the bodhicitta vow, in accordance with the Chittamatra school, there are 4 root precepts and 16 branches precepts, and all have to be maintained equally.
Umalute tatu de niba tamje bon geba tamje rugurete naga rimba se chogiyori tombo kelen dune rimba yendo lava je sedu rimbe Then gave a drop the Papon Segins, a Kenny, Chaza, Dama Tops out the Rumbashi, Rumbasum. Lo Membachi, Jimbochi, Lo Chudu Jubachi, Sum Sena, Sum Chugiata, the top devil, Sum Labo, Twenty Chimbo, Yawa.
Although these two kinds of vows, two kinds of bodhicitta vows, they don't differ. They don't they do not differ in accomplish the wish to attain the complete enlightenment on behalf of other beings. The bodhicitta vow received through the rituals in accordance with the Madhyamika approach is much convenience. In another word, it's much convenient is much convenient to follow, because while receiving the bodhicitta vow through this ritual, as in the recitation, one promised to engage in the higher trainings by step by step. So the trainings can be divided into 3 steps: the lesser and the middling and the higher. Lesser, middling, and the lower, middling, and the higher. So since while taking the bodhicitta vow, we take we ourselves resolve within ourselves to move forward step by step, and there is no sort of there is less danger of breaking the vow. It has more benefit to proceed further on, and so on.
Pena lo turbo de member sanche lavja sanche samche ke tando sonje togor sha sambate de yori juba sanche lavja le megawa karpon totupse megawa shana khabase gewa kardu totupse gewa kardu na te hoase teni gyanda se bi gewa jisu yoron se o tele se na 내가 리기여래 때 침바다블라가 뭐보싱해서 근데 리그레스 손제 숨바래.
For instance, as for the lesser intelligent follower, whether especially the lay people, lesser intelligent Mahayana Mahayana followers, as what they promised while taking the rituals. For the lesser intelligent followers, it is what say it is it is in order to what say train himself in the aspiring enlightenment thought. In order to train in aspiring enlightenment thought and to train in the engaging enlightenment thought. Aspiring enlightenment thought, it is fine. It is okay that they just generates the enlightenment aspiration, and as for the precepts of engaging enlightenment thought, they can cultivate or involve themselves in refraining from the 10 non-virtue deeds as much as they can, and also engage in the virtuous deeds as much as they can, and then if in case out of the power of defilements and committed any sort of any downfalls, then can do the confession and restore the vow.
원본 리모트에서 저 교는 댄스 현지서 샘 흉바 봉아 개첨벌이 나나 탑조지 송제 성경이한테 전부터인데 가와도 도선선 샘 흉대바이나 샘 흉바 전 전벌이 서로와 시기요 말이 샘 흉무 서로 맞이하나 남이 고사들 봉 두게 말이 제가 샘 마흉바시야.
And as for the middling higher trainers, the trainers with the middling sort of intelligence, for them to relinquish the discouragement is very important. Not only in the higher training, the discouragement causes discouragement, causes us to overcome the earlier inferior sort of stage. So for the middling sort of trainer, the trainer with the middling intelligence, they should to put more exert in overcoming the discouragement. Discouragement here is to thinking that I have no ability, I will not be able to accomplish that such a wish, and I cannot sort of practice such high training and so on.
바바토메 숨바래요. 깨지르를 삼체 몸부 송제로기에 제가 가르치는 송제 좀 도서.
As Asanga says that within a moment, in this sort of worldly existence, many sentient beings attain the complete enlightenment, and think that why can't I attain? There are so many beings, as Asanga pointed out, there are so many beings who attain this accomplishment in a moment, and why can't I attain such a stage? We have to sort of motivate or influence within ourselves by thinking that way.
샴바리 송입니다. 때네 바발루도 송바리. 내가 송제 생각해서 연대 전부터 전에 남네 말 잡아봐봐는 yin 봐봐 말이스. 산에 야 로도 집어놓은 게 중국 말이 뇌선 라버치게 삼세체 때는 매전신 송제바리.
And Asanga says that all the earlier Buddhas did not come into existence as the rains, the drops of the water falls from the space. The drops of the water falls from the space, and the crops grow from the earth, from the soil. The stage of Buddhahood has to be what you call also has to be attained, or also has to be accomplished out of the causes and conditions.
희와래 손바리 송제 송도스 무춘중게요. 소라세나 송제 톱도 그랬을 때 매일 송제 텔레 톱데 그랬어요.
Shantideva says in the Bodhichara Avatara that even a small insect, if the insects put effort, it can also attain. It has the ability to attain the accomplishment. So why why can't the human I why can't accomplish such a stage?
Tene omon rimbo de labza kiana tuje nabu chu yi pon sing de so ge chenbo yin zhe xie wa jie man xiong chu san mu gong ya ge dan da nabu chu se ge ye yo de pon gu yo res.
As a precept of the middling trainers, the Mahayana trainers, middling Mahayana trainers, it is important to know the negative, four black, literally four black dharmas. That is four kinds of negative actions. It has to know the four negative actions in order to refrain from them. First is to deceive. First is to deceive the noble people through telling lie. And second is to despise or blame or criticize the Bodhisattva. And third is to causing resentment in followers who engage in the virtuous deeds. Fourth is to harm. Fourth is to harm other beings through out of the deceit, honest deceit. First is to harm out of the deceit and unhonesty. And there are four sort of positive sort of actions to be adopted again and again. First is not to tell lie. And the second is to cause other beings to follow the Mahayana paths. And third is to praise occasionally the Bodhisattvas. And fourth is to generate benevolent thought towards the other beings. And also has to train ourselves in refraining from four sort of kind of downfalls. First, such as not preaching, not giving teachings to the genuinely interested followers out of stingy. And as for the precepts of the aspiring enlightenment thought, one should to train in familiarizing. One should train oneself in familiarizing the loving kindness, compassion, and accompanying or relying on the reliable teacher. And generating faith occasionally towards Tilvajams. And the followers who possess genuine sort of enlightenment thought the maras. The maras causes Mara hinders. The Mara causes hindrances to the followers, the Mahayana trainers, higher trainers who possess genuine enlightenment thought. So one should be very skillful to realize how such hindrances occurs within and around, and then if in case such hindrances occurs, then should supplicate the triple gems and make offering and so on.
Juba sense ke labja jebate yenla dembate ke chimbu shoyi sumbare cheza sonje du chongju tsama nandu yenla demba shege sam ne nimale tarsum semole tarsum tende shegu.
So earlier are the precepts of the vow of aspiring enlightenment thought. Concerning the precepts of the engaging enlightenment thought, it is very important. It is crucial to engage in or performing the seven limbs prayers, so that the followers should train themselves in doing the 7 limbs prayers 3 times a day, 3 times a night.
Dagen nyamba sangen de gam debore shuna otraje sanje tamje de da devan deba gendu sanje tamje devan degi da dungar mende ba gendu sanje tamje dungar mende ba jiba jong koda the debore koda mate na mini keje chena thoche to.
Rinpoche says that it is not that much difficult to realize how oneself and others are equal in how oneself and others are equal. So with regard to concerning the enlightenment thought of equality, we need to realize that all oneself and others are equal in not wishing to have sufferings and their cause suffering, and wishing to have happiness. Even from discussion, if we don't understand from the teaching, we can discuss each other and can know that equality from discussion.
Rondo samche niki dewa do rondo samche niki dungar pon go sam gamba sambatele dagi nyamba samse. So
the enlightenment thought of equality refers to the mental state, which think of mental state which resolve innerly to engage oneself in the purposes of others and purpose of oneself and others as well. Ke tu wanja je yonso kangwe ne Henri True,
Tempo, Saja, Boye, Tempo,